each project is going to be unique, and that's why when somebody calls me and they say they need X number of bulbs, I usually start asking a lot of questions because they may not need that many. Now, at the end of the day, we may figure out that they were right, and that's what they are after. But like I said, I want to take a walk through the facility at the very least, just to understand what we're dealing with. But kind of after that point, so let's say we've already done the walkthrough. The next thing I'm going to do is do some investigation and figure out the right product for the right job. So we're going to take a look at that project just on its own as a unique standalone project. You know, we're not going to apply a general rule that says anytime you run into this situation, this is what you do. We don't look at it that way. So I'm going to design a solution specifically for that, and I'm going to present that to the customer and say, okay, here's what you can expect out of this. Here's how much money you're going to save. Here's what your expected payback is going to be, and long term, here's what basically what this project is going to pay you in the long run. Usually with LEDs, it's not a matter of if it'll pay for itself, it's a matter of when, and that's what we like to talk about, is help that customer understand how much money they're going to net positive after it's all said and done. But so when we present that project, we can show them, in some cases, if there's been design work, we can actually show them either the computer model of maybe what it would look like, a sort of rendering, if you will, of what light levels are going to be. In some cases, it may take a demo. We may actually go on site and show them some different products on site, shining in their room or on their products or whatever it is. We really, again, kind of take each project individually. In some cases, people get it and they understand it right away and they're ready to do it. They just need somebody with the expertise to provide the products for them. In other cases, some folks may not actually understand what they're getting, and they want to understand what all the benefits are, and obviously we're happy to do that. I often say that we're really in an education mode right now, which is a really good thing because that means people are curious and they want to understand better. I personally would rather they make an informed decision rather than just take everything they hear as gospel, because frankly there's just a lot of stuff out there that's not true, or just maybe not necessarily that it's not true, but it's just lack of understanding of all of the ins and outs of it. But again, we like to talk about all the benefits. We try to help people understand that, again, like I said, you're going to save money on electric and maintenance, but you're also going to eliminate ultraviolet rays and infrared rays, which is not something everybody thinks about. But Clark, if you think about, maybe it's a furniture store or a fabric store, obviously cranking out ultraviolet light out of fluorescence and incandescence all day long, years after years, will eventually fade and deteriorate that. It gets to be even more important when you're talking about artwork. So let's say it's a museum or something like that where the artwork hangs on the walls day after day after day for years and years and years. Eventually, that light will deteriorate that painting. With LEDs, because of the significant reduction in ultraviolet and infrared rays, those products will last much, much longer. And how do you put a dollar value on that? If I can save a priceless painting and make it last, 100 years longer than what it was going to before, I don't know what that's worth, but it's worth a lot in some cases. But again, we try to address all of those benefits with the customer, help them understand everything, and at the end of the day, when they're ready to make that decision, they're ready to go forward, then we provide that product for them. If they need the product installed for them, we can help them with that. If they don't, again, because a lot of the products we have are meant for retrofit. Anybody with a step stool or a step ladder can unscrew a light bulb and screw it back in. So if they don't need anything from us at that point, we give them the products and make sure they understand what they have and where it's supposed to go and what the expected usage and application is. And we just try to document the project. We really like to do case studies, so we like to follow up and make sure that customers are happy with their solutions and check back with them, and ultimately just making sure that the solution was exactly what they were expecting.